The T virus, or tyrant virus, also known as the clay virus, is a mutagenic virus created by the Umbrella Corporation. It was derived from the progenitor virus and designed to take advantage of its mutagenic properties for the development of a new form of biological weapon known as BOW, bioorganic weapon. A living creature genetically modified for use as a killing machine. At one point near the end of the 20th century, the progenitor virus, also known as the mother virus, was discovered by Lord Oswell E. Spencer, Sir Edward Ashford, and James Marcus. These three men had a certain economic position and decided to begin research upon the virus. Most of the research was carried out by Marcus, as Ashford died in 1968. And of course, Spencer was already occupied by his burgeoning chemical corporation, Umbrella. Marcus had little resources to pool into the investigation, until Spencer agreed to employ him as a researcher and later director of his corporation's training facility. This would put the vast resources of Umbrella into his hands. Friction would come between Marcus and Spencer when Marcus demanded more and more investment into his research. He needed resources to perfect and improve what he envisaged was his life's work. Spencer demanded a compensation for the crippling economic demands laid by Marcus. He wanted a virus with a 100% effectiveness rate. The Umbrella Corporation used its finances to secretly develop the virus under the radar of international authorities. In time, Marcus further evolved the virus, creating the first effective bioweapon to be produced in large quantity and be closely studied by the Umbrella Corporation. By adding the virus to leeches, the attributes of both were combined, and the T virus soon saw the light around 1978. During the years of research on the T virus, numerous strains were developed in the Arklay laboratory and tested upon one solitary test subject, Lisa Trevor. For years, she was subject to intense biological torture, which, despite all odds, she survived. The T virus was built like many viruses, but not all. As the cell makes contact with the cell's membrane, it inserts its genetic coding into the cell. The cell absorbs the viral genome into its own genetic makeup, which takes over the cell's functions. The cell begins to produce offspring of the original virus. The new viruses are then released from the host cell and infect the neighboring cells, which start the process all over again. The T virus kills and replaces the dead mitochondrial organelles with a replica of itself. The virus then combines with other cells to produce energy. The energy produced is just enough to power the motor neurons and the basic lower brain functions. Not only that, but this bypasses the entire circulatory system, which makes the heart and lungs redundant systems that can be disposed of. The reanimated host body is then left with the intense need to feed in order to replenish energy supplies, without having to sacrifice its own tissue. Actions taken by the host in this time period greatly resemble that of zombies depicted in horror movies and are thus dubbed by that name. However, the T virus can only properly function by consuming the cell in order to produce its energy and to divide mitosis to spread around the body. This slow breakdown of cells leads to the gradual breakdown of the host, causing necrosis. The virus incorporates itself into the host DNA, which subsequently alters it. This is why creatures such as bees and spiders only have very minor mutation, such as increased size when compared to the human mutation caused by the virus. Should the human host be alive at the time of T virus infection, all higher brain functions are destroyed. This leaves only the cerebrum to govern behavior. This leaves the infected host with a very animalistic behavior. As the virus spreads, it damages the hypothalamus, and this produces a massive flood of neurotransmitters, enzymes, and hormones such as norepinephrine and dopamine. These effects, combined with the painful symptoms of the infection, induce a psychotic rage, persistent hunger, and increased aggressiveness in those infected. Should the human host be dead at the time of infection, Only enough energy is produced to power the lower brain functions. These functions are responsible for the most primal instincts, such as walking and eating. In either case, their late-stage appearance and behavior are characteristics of their namesake, a zombie. Should a late-stage human host be rendered unconscious, the body will lay in a dormant phase, appearing to be dead. In actuality, though, the host is rapidly mutating due to the T-virus becoming hyperactive. Within the time frame of an hour, the decayed skeletal and muscular system is reconstructed into a stronger and more durable form. Development can be seen of sharp canine teeth and razor claws, and fresh blood seeps into remaining skin, giving it a reddish hue. Advances in decomposition and intact eyes become a bright white. Umbrella researchers at the Arclay laboratory have dubbed this stage as a V-act, commonly referred to as a crimson head. As a consequence of this rapid mutation, cellular breakdown hits a critical point where the host cannot regenerate properly and can be killed permanently. If by chance a human T-virus host should survive past the secondary crimson head mutation with little or no damage, the virus may actually strengthen the damaged remaining cells, resulting in a licker, a crimson head mutation taken to an extreme. The closest piece of evidence of this possibly would be the Regis liquor, or suspended, that is encountered in Raccoon City's Apple Inn, as the specimens seem to be going through the stages of mutation, resulting in the change from a crimson head to a liquor. This is evident due to the licking and hanging abilities present in both suspended and liquors, but also the layer of skin still attached along with the majority of human physical traits. In regular liquors, the host possesses a long, powerful tongue from which it derives its name, and enormous claws. The skin has all but disappeared, revealing the underlying muscle, and the brain is exposed. However, it is not known how much more mutation can actually occur past the form of liquors, as all known untampered specimens were destroyed in the destruction of Raccoon City. The T-virus is capable of various methods of subject infection. Research files supplied in the Arclay Mountains facility identify the virus as having a protein structure. This description has very little, if any, difference from the true writer's intent. As such, it is likely that any known methods of viral or Umbrella's experimentation, known as bioorganic weapons, with the T-virus were initiated by direct injection of the virus into the host. This was considered Umbrella's primary means of infection. The virus can be transmitted by water, as proved when rats, which had consumed samples of the T-virus infected water supply of Raccoon City, caused the historical zombie epidemic. There are some theories that state the virus can become airborne, at least only for a short period of time. However, most of the evidence used to support these theories is simply the use of hazmat suits, which does not prove the virus is airborne. However, of course, the non-canon live-action films have shown that the virus is airborne, though if we are referring simply only to the Resident Evil titles which are in canon, this still only remains a theory. There is direct fluid transmission. Anyone attacked by an infected host in close combat, be it by bite, scratch, gash or stab, will have the virus transferred to their bloodstream via contact with infected bodily fluids and tissues. The Umbrella Corp believes this to be a secondary means of infection. There are in fact 4 known serums that will cure those infected by the T-virus, but only in its earlier stages, before it becomes completely active. The first is an unnamed vaccine developed by Douglas Rover of the Umbrella Medical Service of Raccoon General Hospital. This was developed as a last-minute effort to halt the rapid spread of the T-virus. The second serum is known as Daylight. The actual ingredients for Daylight are T-blood, V-poison, and P-base. Once all of these ingredients have been collected, they can be mixed together in a special chemical mixer. The mixture takes about 5 to 7 minutes to make and 30 seconds to 1 minute to duplicate. The third is a reagent designated AT-1521, developed by the research team operating from within Umbrella's official Raccoon City facility. And there are in fact some prototype antibodies for the T-virus used by the UBCS. And within the movie world, there is only one, called Antivirus. This is a dedicated, engineered antivirus created by Umbrella. This particular one is only effective if the patient does not have a large amount of the T-virus in their bodies, or the infection is caught in the early stages. This antivirus was shown in the first and second movie, but its effects were different, and it was developed by Dr. Charles Ashford for his daughter, Angela. I've had a lot of good feedback for my fictitious diseases, especially in the world of zombies, so to continue that, I thought today I would discuss the T-virus. If you did enjoy this video, then please do give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't seen my face reveal video, I will link it at the end. Yes, that's right, Mr. H has shown his face. Anyway, and as always guys, if you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. And as always, I will catch you in the comment section.